What is up, guys? You're probably wondering from the title what my problem is with skill-based matchmaking. The truth is, I don't have one. Nah, I'm just kidding. Stay tuned till after the short intro and we'll dig a little deeper.
Shut up and sit down.
Alright then, ladies and gentlemen, let's do this. None of this drawn out 10 minutes nonsense from me.
20 minutes later.
I don't have a problem with skill-based matchmaking. Truth be told, it is much simpler than that. I have a problem with people who do have a problem with skill-based matchmaking. You're probably sitting there, scratching your head a little, and that's fine. Look, let's break it down. I've seen numerous videos springing up lately from content creators, and I'm gonna be real with you, I don't really know their names, I don't pay that much attention. I don't care about who they are. I care about what they have to say. But they all seem to be saying the same thing. They're saying that skill-based matchmaking is bad. Well, not so much. They take thinly veiled swipes at skill-based matchmaking in an attempt to remain neutral. But make no mistake, these people are wholly partisan. Let's take Apex Legends as an example. That seems to be the current hot topic for all of these YouTube prostitutes. This season, which is season 3 I believe, I mean don't quote me on it, I may play a lot but I pay very little attention to these things and that's just facts. Well, this season skill-based matchmaking has come under fire for ruining the game. I don't know why. Maybe it's been data mined as a new addition, maybe it's just become more obvious, I really don't know, and I really don't care. But all of these suppositions are anecdotal at best. One YouTuber, I think when I checked he's called The Gaming Merchant, he sounds like he's suffering with severe swine flu. I don't know, he seems like a nice guy though, but that's by the by. He put up a survey for his subscribers / viewers, basically asking them a series of questions so as to ascertain the general feeling amongst people with regards to skill-based matchmaking, and what he found was that somewhere in the region of 70% of those respondents would argue that skill-based matchmaking is ruining the game. The first thing that I'd like to point out here is that this survey is fundamentally flawed. The assumption here is that the sample who clicked onto his survey are completely random with no presupposed ideas. Now that's obviously not true. Anybody who's responding to a skill-based matchmaking survey on YouTube has likely already seen many content creators putting forward their opinions, which naturally influences the opinion of those taking the survey, already skewing results. Secondly, to assume that your viewers are a neatly representative microcosm of the player base as a whole is just pure conjecture. But that's not to say that he didn't throw up some interesting figures though, which, for all my attempts to double check, seem correct, which are the breakdown of players as a whole between each rank, and they are as follows. 5.1% of players finished in bronze, 40% in silver, 35.7% in gold, 16.8% in platinum, 2.1% in diamond, and 0.2% in apex predator. So, straight up we can see that 80.8% of players are split between bronze, silver, and gold. These are the people whose skill-based matchmaking is going to benefit the most. 80.8%. Equally, these are the people who are probably going to be the most casual, and therefore it's probably fairly safe to assume that these people aren't even going to be aware of skill-based matchmaking. So they'd have no reason to go looking for surveys and filling them out. They'd be the silent majority, if you will. The remaining 19.1%, and by the way guys, check those numbers because Respawn seemed to have missed 0.1% of the player base off of this, like that really threw me when I made this video. I had to reread that like 7 times and triple check my maths. But, I mean, back to the vid. The remaining 19.1% are split between Platinum, Diamond, and Predator. That means that literally less than 1/5 of the player base are going to be negatively affected by skill-based matchmaking. One YouTuber, and again while making this video to make sure that I could give you guys a name. I spent like 30 minutes scrolling through mundane Apex videos on YouTube to find this guy. One YouTuber called Staycation claimed that Apex Legends was unplayable because he had to, and I quote, sweat in order to get multiple kills while in games. Hang on a second guys, let me just wipe this tear out of the corner of my eye because that hits me in the feels, poor guy. By contrast, however, when he made a new account, he got 24 kills in one game. This is the level of entitlement that infuriates me. This content creator actually believes that when he logs in, he should be getting 20 plus kills per game because he just deserves to be able to chill out. The level of sheer arrogance and self-importance actually pisses me off. What about the other 80.8% of human beings playing this game that don't want to be going up against self-proclaimed esports athletes? I mean, you're not even an athlete. You're about as athletic as a diabetic whale attempting to tap dance to Ludwig van Beethoven's Ninth Symphony. But you see, the problem is people like Staycation, they understand the internet. It's so full of thirst that you'd assume that 99% of people are watching from the Sahara Desert. If this guy comes out and says that skill-based matchmaking is ruining the game, he damn well knows that 90% of his subscribers will probably agree, for no other reason than being hell-bent sycophants desperate for his half-mast yogurt slinger. Ironically, skill-based matchmaking is implemented to fix the very thing that content creators are ruining. Fun.
It's not my fault.
Content creators are so fixated on discovering game-bending mechanics and creating, for lack of a better term, sweaty metas, just to give themselves that 1% extra chance of coming out on top, that the majority of people connected to the internet will discover this content and attempt to replicate it. Therefore, it's their own fault that the game becomes a sweatfest. This in turn means that people who don't particularly go online to become virtual samurai fall behind. And why is that fair? The simple answer is it's not. Listen, I myself am an Apex Predator, but if I have to go up against people of a similar skill level as me, so that people who aren't quite as good as me can enjoy themselves, then you know what guys, I'll take that one on the chin, like a man, and accept that sometimes I can't have my own way. If the game is stressing you out, Staycation, log out my friend. Go and spend some time with your girlfriend. I'm fairly sure that there are things a couple can do together to alleviate the stress, wink wink. But no, these guys literally sit at their desk when they're stressed out, and then requeue for more of the same of what's stressing them out in the first place. And then they blame developers for attempting to fix problems that they're creating. Springs to mind. What these guys and people like them want is tantamount to asking for a permanent Smurf feature. Here's a tip for you. If you want to relax in games and not engage in a belly rub with your virtual peers, stop releasing content that encourages people to sweat. Skill-based matchmaking utilizes an algorithm that, as far as we can tell, analyzes your gun metrics, accuracy, time to kill to death ratio, damage output, etc, etc. It then pairs you with people who have similar stats. How is that a bad thing? If you are literally crying because you have to play against people who, relatively speaking, have the same skill level as you, then imagine how the other 80% of players feel when they're paired against people that much better than them. Just sit down and continue drooling your estrogen, pal. How about you try to explain to the 80% of players why skill-based matchmaking is a bad thing for anybody who's not a content creator or streamer? I mean, listen to this guy that featured on Candy Roo's video on skill-based matchmaking.
You see the name of my stream title today?
What was it?
It was SBMM, more like stupid bad matchmaking. Am I right?
SBMM, more like stupid bad matchmaking. Am I right?
I mean, This fine specimen of a man exudes an abundance of intelligence that could only be rivaled by a pitchfork. The way he articulates his thoughts and makes it clear under no uncertain terms how he feels about skill-based matchmaking is tantamount to spellcasting in terms of the intricacy with which he delivers his crushing verdict. Look, let's be honest guys. Let the noobs play with noobs, and let the skilled players play with other skilled players. Or, I mean, if you want, how about we make it a personal setting, like a toggle, you can toggle on and off. Do you want to opt into skill-based matchmaking or opt out? Because the end result will always be the same, guys. As soon as people cotton on, the less skilled players will opt in to skill-based matchmaking, and the higher skilled players will try to opt out. But you'll have the same result at the end of the day. Eventually, the noobs are going to get better, and when they do, we'll start seeing them in our lobbies, where they'll be just as screwed as the rest of us. But anyway guys, rant over. Thanks for sticking with me, if you did. I've been half past fate. It's now half past late, and I'll see you on the next video.